Can you start over? I'm confused.
It was confusing.
But you had to do it right.
Oh no. I lost control. With the brick.
You said it was a harpoon.
So what are we gonna do now? Should have just called the police.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of The Good, the Bad, the Score. I'm Colin.
And I'm Andrew.
And today we're going to be talking about the Amazon original movie, Blow the Man Down. Andrew, so Blow the Man Down, it came out recently this year, March 20th. It's available for anyone with a Prime Video membership. And I would say Blow the Man Down is similar to, I would think, a Fargo-esque kind of show.
Yeah.
Where there's a murder mystery and all that.
Very Coen Brother-ish with that type of quirky tone to it.
Definitely very Coen Brother typist. So the movie is about these two young sisters named Mary Beth and Priscilla, played by Sophie Lowe and Morgan Saylor. They've just recently lost their mother, and they are trying to adjust to the new life. They don't have a father figure. They have to very much kind of fend for themselves. And Mary Beth is more the outgoing one, while Priscilla is the more responsible one. She's taking care of the family fish business and trying to make ends meet. So this entire movie takes place in Easter Cove, Maine, where it's very much that kind of local towny. Everyone knows each other and very close-knit. So on the day of their mother's wake, Mary Beth goes out to the bar to kind of relieve some things. Her and her sister are not really getting along at this point, and she goes and meets this guy who ends up being a rapist, and she, out of self-defense, kills him. So the whole movie is really about how these two sisters are trying to cover up this murder while also learning about some underground things that's going on within the town.
Yeah, so pretty much when they're after the whole murder and all that situation happens, they start to learn some dark things about the town and even about their mother. And then another character comes into play that kind of all ties into this is Miss Devlin. It's played by Margot Martindale. So she plays this woman who owns a whorehouse in the town of East Cove in Maine, I think it is. East Cove, Maine.
East Cove.
If I get that right.
East Cove in Maine, yeah.
Yeah, East Cove, Maine. So she pretty much owns a whorehouse, and there's a little bit more to that. And there is something that kind of connects to it, and pretty much a huge tension is starting to build up to something.
All right, so one correction, and I already said it, but Andrew, I'm wrong. It is Eastern Cove, Maine.
Okay, Eastern Cove,
Eastern
Maine,
Cove,
yeah.
Maine. All right, so like all reviews, we're going to start out with what we liked about the movie. So Andrew, please tell us, what did you like about Blow the Man Down?
Okay, so first of all, when I was about to watch this movie, I wasn't sure what I was getting myself into. First, I was kind of like, oh great, we got these two girls who lost their mom, and it's gonna be like this whole depressing movie where this one girl has it to go while the youngest sister is totally messed up and a druggie. But it was totally not like that. This was a totally different movie than I thought it was going to be, and I overall thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the cinematography is really good. I think this movie's beautifully well shot. I love the shots of the bay, of the ocean. It's just really surreal to look at. There's even a shot I really love when you have the two sisters at the bay together. That is a really beautiful shot. It has this blue filter going in there too, which kind of gives it a good metaphor of what the tone of the scene is, which I thought was really interesting. The cast is superb. I thought the two actresses that play the sisters were superb. They both are really good. I was looking them up on IMDb, and they've only been in very few movies and TV shows, But I think after this movie, I really love to see more what they do. But to me, the person who really stole the show was Margot Martindale, who plays Miss Devlin. She is mysterious. She's not likable, and yet you are totally engaged of what she's up to and what's going through her head and what her plan is when her and the two sisters go head to head. But overall, I felt for the most part, I was really sucked into this movie. I was just really engaged what was going on. I didn't really know what was going to happen, which way it was going to go. The movie overall was really constructed well. I thought it was very well placed and well organized. But yeah, that's all I'm going to get into. What about you, Colin?
So, first off, before I get into my thoughts on the good parts of Blow the Man Down, did you see the trailer before this movie?
I did not. I did not watch the trailer. The only thing I saw, I just looked up on Rotten Tomatoes. I saw this movie had a 99% rating, so I was like, this movie has to be good if it's got a high rating.
It has a 99% rating on Rotten Tomatoes? Yeah. Okay. Well, so I also didn't see the trailer for this movie. And sticking with what's good about the movie, I definitely agree with you. The performances in this movie are very superb. The two lead actresses, Morgan Saylor and Sophie Lowe, they really are they're very newcomers. They're very much, they feel like realistic sisters, not even like movie sisters, like where like they're literally like complete like one note, like, oh, we're very much on the download, oh, we're very much on the high. There's a lot of emotion going on in their performances. I like the fact that they don't feel like movie characters, they feel like two real sisters. But you are definitely right, Andrew. Margot Martindale definitely steals the show as the whorehouse runner. She very much, I like the fact that she can both play like a confident role model and also the sinister villain all at the same time. Other than that, I do like the way they kind of transitioned from each act with the sailors, the fishermen singing Blow the Man Down in different sea songs. I found it very much like, it felt like it made it feel much more like an epic, even though the movie's only an hour and a half. I like the fact that like it begins and kind of ends with them singing, and then each act is broken up with them singing a song. It makes it feel like the stakes are higher than they really are. So is there any other thing you want to mention before we get into the negatives of this movie?
Yeah, I did want to point that out. I was curious what you would thought about the fisherman singing the song, but I'm glad you liked it because I wasn't sure if you were gonna care about that or not. But I'm glad, because I thought that was a very ambitious choice to do, because I feel like it helps narrate the movie. They kind of felt like the narrators in the movie with them singing from the beginning to the middle and then to the end. And I really liked it. Great singers, by the way, too. I mean, they were good singers.
It kind of set the tone. At first, when they first started, I really didn't like it. It's like, what is this movie where they're singing? Is it like they're looking straight at the camera? It's like fourth wall breaking, where like there isn't any other fourth wall breaks in this movie except when this fishermen are singing to the audience. At first, I didn't like it, but then it kind of sets up the tone. It sets up what this town is about and how they're very much is like the fisherman kind of life in Maine, in this little town. How it feels very much. I like the way that the fisherman stuff was brought in, and even some, I won't say all of them, but some of the transitions to where this is on a technical level, like on paper, this would be a very gruesome movie. But I like the way they use cuts and different sounds to make the gruesome scenes a lot more gruesome without actually having to physically show them. Like there's one scene where a character is cutting someone's arm, and rather than showing the blood and all that, it just simply cuts to the rough seas, and it makes you feel very much like you're hearing the sound effects and you're connecting like the violent action to something very every day and something that we all hear. I think that there's some creativity in those regards.
Yeah, it's so interesting because the movie's rated R. And really, to me, it felt more like a PG-13 movie. It's really not that graphic.
Oh, I disregarded that.
And it's like, it's really not that. They really do a good job. I mean, they really just cut away from a lot of the disturbing moments, and they do try to keep this movie like clean as possible. Another thing I do want to point out too, I really like that it was only an hour and 30 minutes. because
It was a short
I really
movie.
liked that, and I think a lot of movies, especially for those type of movies, they should only be an hour, 30 minutes, or maybe just a tad bit more, because movies don't not have to be over 2 hours long, depending on the genre. But that I really liked that it was a short movie, and I did feel like in a lot of ways this movie kind of got to the point.
Yeah. So before we get into the bad of the show, is there any final remarks you want to bring up, Andrew?
Another thing I do want to credit too, the directors, they're directed by two female. It's directed by two female women. Oh my god, let me screw that.
So I'll say them. The two directors are Bridget Savage Cole and Danielle Crudy.
Yeah, and it's their first time directing a movie, which I looked up. They've never directed before. Maybe they might have directed like other independent films, but I was looking up. This is their first movie. That's impressive to me. That I thought was really impressive. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay, so let's get into now the bad of Blow the Man Down. Andrew, once again, I'm going to have you start off with it. What are you thinking? What's the problems you have with this movie?
I've been thinking about this a lot, and I actually I was talking to my friends last night about this movie, so he actually watched it himself. So then we were kind of discussing about the things we liked and didn't like, and I think my complaint is that this movie it kind of drifted away from the two sisters. I felt at points the movie, because they're like in it the first 20 to 30 minutes of the movie, and then it kind of falls into another story. But not only that, I felt like they needed to be clear on certain things, especially for Miss Devlin's part. I felt it wasn't like, we knew what they were doing, all right? We knew like what she was doing was wrong, but I wanted more detailing, and like, why did her business go out of control? What led to that? You know, that was one of the things I had a problem with. But it kind of felt like it was just getting a little bit sidetracked into another story. But then in the end, it does connect to it. But I just felt like it needed more clarity on what was really going on in town. Like, it just needed some more clear detailing.
So this is where I'm trying to hold back my gills. I did not like
You
this
didn't
movie.
like it?
I did not like this movie. I thought it felt like very much a student film.
Really?
The idea that
I could agree
you
with
bring
that.
up the idea, the idea that you bring up the fact that the story kind of sidelines from the sisters to the brothel stuff. I thought that was terrible. The idea that the movie is about these two sisters. The first act is they're the stars of the movie. They are literally, their conflict is the main thing going on with the person that they killed. Is how are they gonna hide it up? The clues that they left behind, how they were sloppy. I was very engaged in the first act, and I mentioned in the fisherman stuff, the moment they literally, it's like a teacher told them to, like, yeah, have it to where the fishermen break up each act. As much as I like their singing, I thought it was very sloppy, because now I'm like, okay, the second actors hit it, and oh look, they're not the main characters anymore. Now it's Margot Martindale, who is great in the movie, but like, you're not the main star.
Yeah.
You had nothing to do with the beginning of the movie. And then I thought, then there's a side, the side. One of the people who work at it, Alexis, who played by Ghislaine Rankin. I'm like, where did you come from? I did not sympathize with her, because I didn't think she was well developed or anything like that. And the thing that I couldn't stop laughing at, and I don't know the three actresses' names, so I'm just gonna call them the Granny Mafia, the three elderly women who literally just went down and was like, yeah, this is our town. Oh, we on the streets and all that. What this movie is really about, it's the Granny Mafia.
Yeah.
It's like I'm watching The Godfather. It felt very much like two separate movies, two scripts that were just jumbled together. And the idea that you mentioned, how at the end it kind of all swifts together, I didn't think that. I really thought that the B story completely took over from the A story, and it wasn't until the last minute of the movie where they wrapped up the main storyline, and they left it on a like interpretive cliffhanger. I think this is a movie that you mentioned how it's an hour and a half. Thank God it's an hour and a half, because this was, I had to take a couple sit-ins to this movie because I felt that the length of it felt like, if you told me it was a 2-hour movie, I would have believed it. Like I did not like the pacing of this movie. I think that this is very much a like I said, a movie that if you show this in a college level class, I think it's really impressive. You mentioned the shots. They make use of the scenery they have. They make use of the actors they have. They're fit in roles and all that. I do want to see more from the two lead actresses. Margot Martindale, once again, Margot Martindale is in everything nowadays. Like, I always feel like she always has like a small role.
She's more like a
and she always gets a good
character
performance.
actress, more of a feature
Yeah,
role
definitely.
actress. I definitely feel like I've seen her in movies. Maybe like growing up, I probably have seen her in a couple movies. But yeah, she's really good, and she's good in this. Just, it's sad that like they're selling it on is these two sisters that are kind of going on like a Fargo-esque adventure. But it's not that at all. I mentioned the idea that they are playing like realistic sisters. One thing I can say about this movie is that they do represent these two sisters in this situation in a realistic manner, i.e. like in this they would kind of lay low. They wouldn't really be involved in the plot as much. There's bigger things going on that you follow, bigger characters. But to me, I'm like, that's not entertaining. Yeah. It's something to like, if there was much more deeper plot going on and deeper characters that didn't feel so hilarious with the nanny mafia, that did not fit for me. I thought it was comedic the way that they were acting. Maybe it would work the idea that you shifting from the real story of it. But to me, I just feel like this is a movie that is selling you on the wrong information, and its main plot, they're just completely abandoning. So Andrew, now that I've ranted a little bit, what are your thoughts on my opinion about this movie? One thing I was thinking about this all day today is that this is the type of movie that I don't think is going to appeal to a lot of viewers. It's not going to appeal to a lot of viewers. There's going to be viewers that are going to like this movie, and there's going to be viewers that are going to not like this movie. And that is kind of, I think when I was watching this, because like, you talked like about like the whole like granny mafia part of it. I was actually like okay about it. It didn't like I didn't love it, but like I was concerned about it at first, like watching it. But I did feel like it sort of worked in its own ways. I mean, yeah, I think that like that's just my problem with the movie. I just felt like it needed some more detail, because I kind of felt like this movie was pondering too much on too much pondering on assumptions. I felt like, and it just needed to just be more clear. I feel like they maybe could have done like a flashback scene or something like that. I mean, yeah, there is some parts that gets goofy. I mean, I liked this movie. I didn't love it, but I was thoroughly impressed for what I saw of the movie. But you got me there on the fisherman part. You got me there on that, because I thought, I was like, when you said, I like the fisherman, I was like, wow, Colin, really? This is too good to be true. No.
It was way too silly. I felt like, wow, it's like, this is like the act breaks. I'm like, yes, but like, I
felt like it should have stuck, to me personally, I felt like it should have stuck a little bit more to the two sisters. I do agree. I think that character, Danielle, didn't really need to be thrown in there, because I just felt like that character was kind of thrown in there. You know, I didn't think they needed her. I think it should.
Wait, Andrew, I gotta stop you right there. Danielle, that's the director's name. Which one are you referring to? Mary Beth or Priscilla?
No, the one of the prostitutes.
The one who killed, or the one that helped?
Was working with the blonde.
Oh, yes. Alexis.
My bad. No Danielle, Alexis. The character Alexis,
okay,
who plays one of the prostitutes that works at Miss Devlin's business, she was probably my least favorite character. I didn't think she needed to be in there. I didn't feel like she was really doing much for it. I think this movie really should have just focused on the two sisters for the most part, because I felt like they kind of drifted away for a lot of it, in my opinion.
So I was wondering this because Ghislaine Racklin, who plays Alexis in the movie, she looks so familiar to me. She was in The Greatest Showman.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah, she was in The Greatest
That's
Showman.
wild.
She played Queen Victoria.
Oh, what?
I was wondering.
That's
'cause,
insane.
Like, she looks so familiar. But yeah, that's such a waste of a
Yeah.
character. The way they introduce her, not even they do that. They have this very ominous scene where she's running away from someone in the woods, and while it's an empowering scene because she feels very victimized, it really doesn't add to. At the end of it all, I really didn't connect that with her. I kind of just saw it as a random scene to kind of sympathize with the character. That should have been something that you put in after we're introduced to her. But no, that's the first thing we get from her, and it's in the distance. So it takes you like half the movie, like, oh yeah, that scene was there, and all that. Yeah, I think that, again, I mentioned the fact that it reminded me a lot of Fargo. It really feels like a college kid trying to imitate Fargo. And then you had also the cop in the movie who I completely forgot about until I just thought of it. He was so forgettable. And the idea that in something like this, the root of it all is this is a movie that you should be... What it should have been is these two sisters who just lost their mother, and they're very much at odds with each other, and there was this terrible self-defense accident, not really accident, but you get what I mean, to where one of them kills a man, and it's them trying to hide it up, trying to hide from the cops. As much as it would have been a little generic to be like, okay, how are they gonna about how, like, yeah, like the cops are gonna be there, they're gonna be on edge and all that. I think it would have made for a much better movie if you centered on those characters. Once this pivotal scene where Priscilla has to go on a boat with one of the cops to borrow the boat to find a dead body. Once, I won't reveal what happens in that scene, but once that scene happens, that's where, in my opinion, the movie derails, because it completely turns into this entire another movie to where there's this entire other subplot which turns into the A plot that completely takes over the movie. And after the second act, I keep forgetting, like, oh yeah, there's this whole other A plot that completely is abandoned until the last second. I really didn't think that. I really feel this is a movie that it's two different scripts that were mushed together.
Yeah.
In order to make it an hour.
Yeah,
and a
I
half.
agree with you on that. It was two different scripts. Like I said earlier, I think it should have just stuck with the two sisters. And I think that's what it should have just been, because that's how it begins, with these two sisters lose their mother. And it should have just carried that weight through and what they go through in this whole journey of the film.
Definitely. I definitely think that it had the potential to be something very interesting. I was really engaged in the first half, and then the second and third half happened to where it turned into a whole nother movie, and I was just very much disinterested.
I was still engaged throughout the whole movie. I was still engaged what was going on. I mean, I was still curious, like, where the knife went, who had it, what was going to happen there, what were they going to do about the situation. But, I respect your opinion on that. I do respect that, because I did realize at the end of the movie, after watches, I was thinking about this earlier today, that I don't think this is a type of movie that a lot of people, that you're going to get people that are going to like and people that are not going to like.
Exactly.
But it does blow my mind, though, that it
this...
has a 99% rate on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, to me, it's a solid movie. I don't think it's absolutely not perfect.
Wait, I gotta see this.
Yeah, check it out. It's got a 99% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
You gotta be kidding me. This has a 90... No. I very much disagree with that. It's not even... A 99% rating?
Nah,
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding, man.
No. I'm even looking at the audience score. I'm like, no, I don't even agree with that one. So at this point, so on that note, we're gonna go into the scoring part of it. And
I think you should go first.
I'm gonna introduce something. I'm gonna introduce something that I want to bring up. We're gonna guess the other person's score. So Andrew, I want you to guess. What do you think I'm gonna rate Blow the Man Down?
I think you're gonna give it a 4. out of 10.
A 4 out
Yeah.
of 10. Okay, you're close. I'm gonna give Blow the Man Down a 5.
Oh,
out of 10.
okay.
I don't think it's a terrible movie. I think it's something that literally, if this was in theaters, I think it would have made me mad about how pointless it felt, because everything about it just was so predictable in that regards, and especially as it was on Amazon, and I couldn't sit there for an hour and a half. It didn't hold my attention. So now with you, Andrew, with the amount of praise you've given this movie, I don't think it's going to be an 8, because I feel like you would have been a little bit more energetic about it. So I'm you're going to give it a 7 out of 10.
All right, you're close actually. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna be a little nicer. I'm gonna give it a 7.8 out of 10. That's my score.
So it's closer to that 8. Oh my
It's a
gosh!
C plus
So
movie.
you're the audience, because on Rotten Tomatoes, the audience
Yeah.
gave it a 78%. No,
I liked
No.
it. I think it was good.
no, I did not like it. It's something that I'm like, oh god, I liked it. I liked it for the beginning, and then it just lost me. It felt. I'm dumbfounded by the score
Wow.
about Rotten Tomatoes. The idea that it was a 90. I'm looking at it now. It says 100%. It was at 100%
Yeah.
before. No, I would. This is gonna be a headache now. I'm having a midlife crisis right now. Like, you're telling me how many people reviewed it? Like,
I think there was like about
Jesus.
50
Okay.
or something. Maybe that reviews it. Maybe 100. I don't know.
All right, Andrew, talk some more. I'm gonna
Yeah.
look this up.
Yeah.
So,
So, the
tell me
movie
more
has a
about it.
99% rating. It has and by critics, and it has a 78% rating by audiences. Critics. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, it had like about almost 100 critics.
86
86
critics.
Okay.
I don't agree with that. I'm mad now. Okay, well, I'm glad we very much are on different opinions
Yeah.
of it. I don't think that really helped people, like whether or not you should
Yeah.
watch it or not.
Well, let me ask you
because,
this.
I mean, I feel
What do you
like
think the type of people would enjoy this movie that you think? Or do you think nobody should see this? Do you think nobody should see this movie?
no, I don't think. Put it this way: if this was in theaters, I would have been like, no, don't waste your
Okay.
money on this. But because it's on Amazon, it literally you just wasted your time. I would say, especially if you like stuff like Fargo and like kind of mysteries and stuff like underbelly things about like a small
Yeah.
local towns, then yeah, definitely check this out. I will say I think it's impressive that it's a very prominent female cast and it doesn't kind of rub your
It's
face in
directed
it.
by
Like this-
female directors.
Yeah, and 2 women. I'll give them that. I think I think that's very impressive. I love seeing that, like stuff like that, to where they're not rubbed in your face, but there's literally this like, hey, we are human beings, man, woman, who cares? We're filmmakers. We're making a movie, and I think I'll give them props for that. But just this time, it just didn't work
Oh
for me.
man, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I would honestly say check it out, but I think if you're in, like Colin said, if you like a good mystery crime movie, I think you should check this film out. Just give it a shot. It's only an hour and 30 minutes. I promise you, you'll get through it.
I will say that it's an hour and 30 minutes. Also, the last thing to say, one thing that I very much disagree with is that this is not a comedy. This is a drama,
Yeah.
and everywhere you see it's like a dark comedy.
There,
No.
there's very little
laugh once.
humor in the film because I thought it was gonna be a dark comedy. It's not.
Yeah, I thought
because
that
I was
too.
looking it up. It said
No,
it was like
it's a drama.
it was like a dark comedy, but it's not. It's got very little humor. I mean, there is some parts you can laugh at, but it's serious. It's a serious movie. It's a drama, suspenseful thriller. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much
Yeah.
how it plays out.
Yeah. Well, on that note, thank you for everyone to watching our review of Blow the Man Down. This is The Good, the Bad, the Score. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Check us out if you want to listen to this audio podcast. Go to our SoundCloud, Good Bad Score. If you want to watch if you're listening to this on SoundCloud and want to watch the video version, go to our YouTube channel, Good Bad Score. Literally everything on our social media, Twitter, Instagram, Just search Good Bad Score and you'll find us right there. Once again, I'm Collins
And
Lade.
I'm Andrew.
And thank you for watching, listening, and please make sure to wash your hands, stay clean,
Social distance.
and
Stay away from people.
social distancing, and have a great
Yes.
day.
Stay tuned.